Kay LeClaire had been here before. 3 times she had knocked on the door of the world's highest peak, only to be turned away by sickness or foul weather. Nothing could guarantee a 4th time would be the charm.
You're looking at the mountain going, my God, it really looks steep. You can kind of see the summit ridge. We're all, I'm sure, thinking, I wonder if I'm going to make it.
The Spokane mountaineer had climbed the highest peak on 6 of the Earth's 7 continents since taking up the sport 9 years ago. At the age of 60, she was still trying to bag the 7th, the big one, Mount Everest. The nurse and former competitive ballroom dancer had trained her body to a peak of fitness before heading to Nepal in April. The week-long trek in was a breeze, up through several life zones to barren landscapes of rock and ice at the Mount Everest base camp.
You know, the higher you get, of course, the greenery tends to dwindle. So by the time you're at 14,000 feet, it's pretty sparse. I think that's my least favorite part of the climb, when you finally just go to bare rock.
She joined a compatible group of climbers in Kathmandu and booked with the best Himalayan guiding company $60,000 could buy, so the logistics and support were in order. She began the expedition with the customary blessing bestowed on climbers by a lama. With Everest looming above, she bowed to the puja ceremony as the Sherpa guides raised prayer flags and paid homage to the mountain deity before setting foot on the slopes. Still, no guarantees.
Then you've had the experience, of course, once you get to base camp, of hearing all the avalanches and things are constantly moving in the ice fall. I mean, it's really like playing Russian roulette. I mean, you never know when an avalanche might just wipe you all out.
Everest does not welcome climbers with open arms. Mere mortals must yo-yo up and down the mountain for weeks, each time going higher to gradually train their bodies to being oxygen-starved.
Sometimes you'll just wake up because you're so short of breath and you're almost panic-stricken.
On Everest, the base camp is at 17,500 feet. Over the course of 2 months, climbers venture as high as Camp 3 at 23,700 feet, and then they descend, possibly to the valley as low as 10,000 feet, in the effort to acclimate. Their bodies must be adjusted and ready for any window of good weather and a shot for the 29,000-foot summit. Each up and down subjects climbers to the mountain's wrath. Crumbling ice, falling rock, cavernous crevasses, savage avalanches, and extreme cold are constant threats. Negotiating the Khumbu Icefall is among the most dangerous jobs on the journey.
And it's so steep in places. I mean, you start up and you go, how in the world am I ever going to climb up this? You know, you're a little on edge the entire time. And then your mind kind of switches gears and you go, you know, this is like a puzzle or a maze that you have to get through. So you're concentrating on where to place your feet, and it almost becomes like a really dangerous game.
LeClaire's group got lessons from Ice Dog, a mutt that came up from a valley village to scavenge leftovers from the climbing expeditions. The dog was on his own, though. Nobody dilly-dallies here. A Sherpa was killed in an avalanche above the icefall a day before LeClaire traversed the same area. The next big challenge is the Lhotse face, a steep wall of ice.
You're going, oh, I hope I can make it up here, because you know that's one of the steepest sections of all, and you have to have your wits about you. You're basically climbing solid ice, and if you slip, you're going to fall.
Camp 3 is carved out of the ice at the top of the Lhotse face. No sleepwalking allowed here. In her last push up the mountain, LeClaire was uplifted as she crossed paths with a fellow Spokane climber. 66-year-old Dawes Eddy was coming down from the summit, and he flashed her a big grin. If an old man could do it, so could an old lady, she thought. After more than 8 weeks on Everest shoulder, the guides rousted LeClaire from a fitful sleep at Camp 4, where she was crammed in a tent with 2 other climbers. The elevation was a light-headed 26,300 feet.
All I could hear was my own breathing. I was able to kind of look around, and the stars were out at that point. It was just so beautiful. And then I'd concentrate on placing my feet.
Everest had already taken a toll on her group of 12 clients who were being served by a team of guides and Sherpas. One climber was too slow and had to be turned around at Camp 3. A climber who had frostbitten his fingers had to be evacuated, along with another climber who was suffering from pulmonary edema. The remaining group began the last push to the summit using headlamps at 10:30 p.m. But within hours, a climber would have to be led back because of snow blindness, while another climber and even the lead guide had to be turned around because of intestinal problems. LeClaire pushed on for a total of 10 hours to the summit, although she readily admits she couldn't have made it without the help of her Sherpa guides. The reward was just 10 minutes on top of the world.
Then suddenly through the mist, I could see prayer flags just all over the ground. I mean, nothing stays up for long. It all gets flattened. I knew I was there. And it was just Lakpa, the Sirdar, and my Sherpa, who was down on his knees, of course, thanking Chomolungma for letting us arrive safely and for him doing his 17th summit. I was just ecstatic. I mean, I kind of fell to my knees as well, doing a little thank you to Chomolungma. Then knew I'd have to turn around and go all the way down, which is usually the most difficult part, as you're exhausted, you're elated, but then you realize how tired you are.
More than 300 climbers reached the top of Mount Everest during the 2009 spring climbing season. At least 6 died. Dawes Eddy became the second oldest U.S. man to climb the peak. 3 days later, LeClaire became the second oldest U.S. woman to reach the summit, as she closed the decade-long chapter on a commitment to high achievement.